Hello everybody, Eilish here from Drogheda Library. So we are back this summer for another walking, talking and exploring tour of Drogheda. We had so much fun last year, we're going to go back out again this year to celebrate Heritage Week 2022. So we would love your company and we would love you to join us as we go around the town and explore some more treasures. So the first place I'm going to is I'm heading to the tower, so I hope you'll come with me. I'll see you up there. So we are here at the Magdalen Tower, which crowns the highest point in the northern part of the town of Drogheda and can be seen as a landmark for miles around. It was the belfry tower of the once extensive lands of the Dominican Friary of St Mary Magdalene, founded here around 1224 by Lucas de Netterville, who was the Archbishop of Drogheda. Now, as you can see, it springs from a fine Gothic arch, above which two further stories are connected by a spiral staircase. Now, the friary must have been a very important place, not only religiously but also politically, because it is here that the high Ulster chieftains came down, like the O'Neills and the O'Donnells, to formally submit to King Richard II of England at the end of the 14th century. So as you can see, it is quite spectacular today and a great place to visit for Heritage Week 2022. So we are going to go to our next port of call and we're going to head down Magdalen Street to our next heritage landmark. So follow me. We are here at St Peter's Church of Ireland, that stands on the site of an earlier church that must have been built about 800 years ago. So the earlier church, which dates to about 1230 AD, was much bigger in size and was said to have 7 chapels and a steeple that was once meant to be one of the biggest in the world. Now, there was a lot of important events that took place here, a lot of synods, a lot of ceremonies and a lot of celebrations. However, during the Cromwellian siege of 1649, retreating troops came here to seek sanctuary within the wooden steeple. On approach, Cromwell's troops burnt it to the ground, killing and perishing all the poor souls inside. In fact, the only thing that survived of the fire was the baptismal font, which can still be seen inside today. The present-day church at St Peter's was built around the mid-18th century. And as you can see here on the south side, we have some beautiful stained glass windows. Now, if you have a look over to the left, you're going to see a porch and a steeple that was added 40 years later by the famous Georgian architect Francis Johnson. And it stands to today and it is quite spectacular. Now, we are going to take a walk through the graveyard to the northeast side of the cemetery to see something very unusual that you don't see in many graveyards around Ireland. So follow me. Embedded in the northeast corner of the cemetery of St Peter's Church is what we call a cadaver tombstone slab. And as you can see, this is really unusual. It seemed to be the kind of fashion in Europe to have these kind of burial sculptures on show, but not so much in Ireland. There's not many to see around the country. There is a few in different graveyards, but not that many. Now, what we're looking at here is Sir Edmund Golding and his wife Elizabeth Fleming, who was daughter to the Baron of Slane. And it seems that during the 13th and the 14th century, when the Black Death was ripping throughout Europe, these kind of sculptures reminded people that death comes to us all, and they were very sobering and very kind of scary, that, you know, that life is not forever and that death comes to us all. And as you can see, this is quite spectacular and very much worth a visit here. And if you can see here as well, there's some other tombstone slabs along the way, so it's definitely worth a visit if you're coming to St Peter's Church of Ireland. We are here at the Cord Cemetery in Drogheda to pay our respects to one of the most notorious highwaymen that ever stalked the highways and the byways of North Dublin and the surrounding areas. Michael Collier, or Collier the Robber as he was known, was born in County Meath in 1780. His most daring robbery was a hold-up of the Dublin-Belfast mail coach at Bloody Hollow, outside Dublin. Surrender to Collier could be heard as he approached the coach. All the ladies on board were visibly terrified, but he, being the gentleman that he was, told them their lives were safe as long as they surrendered all their money to him. He said they could keep their jewellery because he was such a nice guy. So after many daring robberies, he was eventually caught and sent on the transportation ships over to Botany Bay in the penal colonies. And it was like a death sentence, because people that went over there, they never ever came back. But came back he did, a totally changed and reformed man. He was no longer at odds with the law, and he set up and ran his own pub. But unfortunately this did not last long, and he got into debt very quickly. He eventually died of cholera in 1849, and he is buried here at the Cord Cemetery, and you should definitely come to visit. The Abbey of St Mary d'Urso is Drogheda's oldest monastic site, and it's known locally in the town as the Old Abbey. It was founded in 1206 by a Norman, Ursulus de Svemelt, as a hospital for the sick and for the infirm. In 1346 it was given a royal grant of privileges, and then it was later transferred to the ownership of the Augustinian Crouched Friars. All that remains of the abbey is a central belfry tower, a Gothic arch, an east arch, and further down a gable wall to the west. So sadly, this is the last stop on our mini tour of the historical sites in Drogheda for Heritage Week 2022. We've had a blast, it's been so exciting, we've learned so much, and we've enjoyed having your company along the way, and we hope you get out and explore for Heritage Week. So we'll see you back at the library. Thanks for watching.